let's take a look how we can quickly assess whether a river basin is crowded or not, and that is using something called population density. And this is how many people are packed into an area. It's very simple to understand. If you have a square kilometer of land, which is a kilometer by a kilometer, how many people would fit in that area if spread out? So let's do the Mackenzie Basin together. First thing I'm going to do, open a new tab and type in Mackenzie River. The Wikipedia entry will be perfect. And while that's coming up, I'm going to open my calculator and I'm going to open a little paintbrush pad. Step 1, let's find the size of the river basin. It'll be right along the side here. There it is, 1,805,200. So I'm just going to take the basin size and I'm going to copy it. And I'm curious what'll happen if I try to paste it into the calculator. Nothing. So we're going to have to write it out by hand. So let's pop her in here. Okay, I just stuck it in paintbrush, so we've got a record of it. Now we want to find the number of people living on that valley, and that's also really straightforward. Let me bring this out here. I'll get ready for that. So you see where it says human use? We click on it. 400,000 people, call it home. So Control C, I'm going to go back to my paintbrush and paste that number in. For 400,000 people live on almost 2 million square kilometers. So how do we calculate that as population density? Click on your calculator, bring it up here, and I'm going to type in 400,000, got to clear off my calculator, 400,000 people live on 1,805,200 square kilometers. And I get a population density of 0.22. What does that mean? Well, let's see if we can understand this. 0.22 people per square kilometer. What does that look like? Well, a square kilometer is a fairly big chunk of land. It's way bigger than a football stadium. And this says, got trimmed off here, we got an answer of 0.22. What's 22? Well, that's 22%. As a fraction, that's 1/5. So we're talking not even one person would fit in there. How do we understand what 1/5 of a person is? Well, if we wanted to be silly about it, we could say in that entire square kilometer, you'd be lucky if you found a person's leg. He's got a big leg. It's Spider-Man. Just a small chunk of a person is in there. Well, that sounds ridiculous. What it really means is you would have to find about 5 of these square kilometers before you'd notice one person. You have one big chunk of land all to yourself. 5 kilometers by like a kilometer by kilometer, you got 5 parcels. That's huge. It's your own city. You could call yourself a duke. So there is extremely low density on the Mackenzie River. This means people drinking from the water, pooping in the water, boating in the water. There's very few of them. So now you're going to calculate the same thing for the Credit River and see how crowded the Credit River Basin is. And then we'll discuss what that means for pollution and harm to the resources on the river.